Desire is not something you turn on when you feel inspired. It is what you hold on to when inspiration is gone. There comes a stage where words lose their power. No motivation, no excitement, no one pushing you forward. Only you, discipline, and daily choice. This is where most people fall away, not because they're weak, but because they believe desire should always feel good. The truth is simple. Real desire is often cold. It does not comfort you. It does not encourage self-pity. It does not negotiate. It asks one quiet question. Did you do what needed to be done today? When desire matures, it no longer shouts inside your head. It becomes a standard of behavior. You do not argue with it. You do not negotiate with it. You obey it. Like a strict boss who does not care how you feel, only whether the job is done. At this stage, desire is no longer an emotion. It is discipline internalized. People without deep desire say, "I'm not in the mood today." People with deep desire say, "This must be done regardless of how I feel." Emotions are unstable. Mature desire is not. Emotions come and go. Mature desire stays. Here's something critical. Desire only grows strong when it is fed by action. If you only think and never act, desire weakens. If you act, even in small ways, desire takes root. Every correct action is a vote for the person you are becoming. Over time, those votes create identity. Once desire is embedded into identity, you no longer try to become wealthy. You simply live as the person you are building. At this level, failure no longer means collapse. It is feedback. People without desire fear failure because they tie their worth to outcomes. People with desire treat failure as data. They do not ask, "Why am I so bad?" They ask, "What didn't work and what must be adjusted?" Desire gives you calm in the face of volatility, not because you feel nothing, but because you have a clear axis of direction. You stop chasing every opportunity. You choose only those aligned with your long-term path. Some will think you are slow. In reality, you are selective. Mature desire makes it easier to say no than yes. No to what does not serve the goal. No to relationships that pull you backward. No to distractions disguised as entertainment. Every correct no protects your desire. And desire protected long enough creates gravity. The right people appear, the right opportunities reveal themselves. Resources begin to move toward you. Not because of luck, but because you have become someone worthy of them. At this stage, money is no longer something you chase. Money becomes the natural result of value, discipline, and position. From the outside, people will say, "He got lucky." They did not see the years of silence, the work done when no one was watching, the discipline held when no one was enforcing it. Desire does not need to be displayed. It grows best in silence. Here is something few understand. Real desire does not exhaust you. It removes what exhausts you. When the goal is clear, you stop wasting energy on misalignment. You compare less, you worry less, you prove less. You know where you are going, and that brings calm. At this stage, you no longer need validation. The only validation that matters is being able to look back each night and know, "I did not betray the goal today." Mature desire creates a different kind of self-respect, quiet, unannounced, unbreakable. You do not need to speak much. The way you live speaks for you. And one day, you realize how far you have moved from where you began. Not because of one explosive moment, but because of ruthless consistency over time. Desire does not change you overnight. It changes you day by day until the old version of you no longer exists. At that point, wealth is no longer the goal. It is the consequence. And that's when you understand this clearly. Desire is not meant to be dreamed about. It is meant to be lived with until life is forced to respond. That is the final form of desire. Principle 3. Autosuggestion. How you program your destiny. No thought appears in your mind by accident. Every thought is the result of what you have heard, seen, and repeated long enough. People are not controlled by reality. They are controlled by how they talk to themselves. That is where autosuggestion begins. Autosuggestion is not imagination or fantasy. It is the process of feeding an idea into the subconscious repeatedly until the subconscious accepts it as truth. And once the subconscious believes something, it begins directing your behavior without asking for permission. Most people are living under unconscious autosuggestion. They grow up surrounded by limitation. They hear statements like, "Money is hard to earn," "Getting rich is risky," "I am not cut out for business," "People like me only go so far." These are not just words, they are commands installed into the subconscious. The subconscious does not judge right or wrong. It only records what is repeated often enough with enough emotional charge. Once recorded, it begins acting to prove that belief true. This is a reality very few understand. If your subconscious believes you are not worthy of wealth, you will unconsciously sabotage every financial opportunity. Not because you are incapable, but because you are loyal to the old program. Autosuggestion is how you rewrite that program. Not through a passing positive thought, but through deliberate repetition. You do not change your life with one powerful idea. You change your life by repeating the right idea thousands of times. The subconscious learns through repetition, just like a child learns language. No one teaches a child with logic. They simply repeat words daily, and one day the child speaks as if it always knew them. Autosuggestion works the same way. When you repeat a statement long enough, the subconscious stops resisting. It does not ask, "Is this true?" It only asks, "How often has this been repeated?" That is why insecure people become more insecure and confident people become more confident. Not because they started differently, but because they speak to themselves differently. Autosuggestion is a double-edged weapon. If you do not use it consciously, society will use it on you. Media, family, friends, environment, all of them are programming you daily. The question is not whether you are being programmed. The question is who you allow to be the programmer. The person who controls his life is the person who chooses what messages enter his subconscious. Autosuggestion is not lying to yourself. It is training the subconscious to accept a new direction. At first, the conscious mind will resist. It will say, "This is unrealistic. You are not good enough. You do not have results yet." That resistance is normal. The conscious mind is built on the past. Autosuggestion is aimed at the future. If you only believe what already has proof, you will never create new outcomes. Autosuggestion requires you to speak before you see and believe before evidence appears. Not to deceive yourself, but to open the door for new behavior. When the subconscious begins to accept a new image of who you are, your behavior changes quietly. You begin to speak differently. You begin to take risks more naturally. You begin to reject situations that do not match your value. You do not force yourself. You simply act according to the new identity forming within you. This is critical. People do not act based on goals. They act based on who they believe they are. Autosuggestion does not target action first. It targets identity. When identity changes, behavior follows automatically. A man who believes he is a leader will not think like an employee. A man who believes he deserves wealth will not tolerate small opportunities. These beliefs are not natural. They are planted intentionally. Autosuggestion works best when the emotional noise is low, before sleep, right after waking. At those moments, the subconscious is open and the conscious mind offers little resistance. What you tell yourself during these moments goes straight into the core. Most people use these windows to worry, fear themselves, and doubt themselves. Then they wonder why life keeps repeating the same patterns.
Autosuggestion does not need complexity, it needs clarity and consistency. Not hundreds of different phrases, a few correct statements repeated long enough. The subconscious rejects contradiction. If you speak one way during the day and think another way at night, nothing changes. Power comes from consistency. Autosuggestion does not work in a week. It works over months and reshapes your life over years. The impatient quit early because they see no immediate results. They forget that old beliefs took years to build. There is no reason new beliefs should appear in days. In this first third, you must understand 3 truths. You do not live according to reality, you live according to the program in your subconscious. Autosuggestion is how that program is rewritten. Whoever controls autosuggestion controls the direction of his life.
Subscribe and follow the channel for daily self-improvement and valuable knowledge.